San Francisco is very fortunate to be so well positioned for the talent economy, the creative economy that marks the future, because brains are the new barrel of oil. And we're in a excellent, because a fortuitous situation, but also because we have policies which have fostered our opportunities, especially in relationship to supporting higher education. I was back with the Rockefeller Fund a year ago talking about innovation with business leaders, and they were saying, how can we do what we do in San Francisco? I said, well, it's easy. You just have a lot of good restaurants. And I was being kind of facetious, but not really facetious, because it's the experience that attracts young engineers and young entrepreneurs here as much as anything. And you really get a feeling for that when you're here with the folks who are the innovators, and you go down to San Jose and you deal with the managers. The managers down in San Jose, they're just hitting numbers and they're hitting, columns and this and that and outcomes and metrics. Up here, it's more like the Google folks. What's the experience? Are we having? Is this fun? Is this innovative? This is engaging. So San Francisco has a long history of being fun and engaging, and it's good for us. So before I introduce the next speaker, we do have to take one moment, because this is a historic day. 12 years ago, you might want to remember where you were when you heard about New York and the World Trade Center. So just maybe 1 second or a few seconds in memory of people who lost their lives in New York. Okay. Our final speaker is a friend to the business community. It's a man who understands what it takes to create a job, which is an investment. Mayor Ed Lee is a person who has brought a lot of stability to San Francisco, especially after the last 2 decades. Steady Eddie, he's doing a good job. And because Ed has a background in administration and being tasked with getting things done and maneuvering through the labyrinth of San Francisco policies. So to talk about the future of San Francisco from the mayor's perspective and the city's perspective in relationship to continuing to build our economy, I want to introduce the mayor of the great city and county of San Francisco, Mayor Ed Lee.
Thank you, Wade, for that introduction, and good morning, everyone. I know you've been inundated with quite a bit of statistics. I find them to be not only interesting and accurate, but very guiding for what we need to do. Thank you, Greg Costco and Bob Lynch-Sheed, and all the members of the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce for extending this invitation to me. And it's great to see a lot of officials here, elected and appointed, department heads and others that are working very hard with me to make sure and ensure our city's success. Before I get started, I just wanted to take another moment to acknowledge and thank the men and women who, over the past several weeks, fought California's 3rd largest wildfire, the Rim Fire up in Yosemite. And among those fighting the fire were our own San Francisco firefighters who responded to the call and stood alongside firefighters from dozens of other county fire departments across the country. In fact, over 5,000 people were fighting that fire. And of course, the staff and the crews of our San Francisco Public Utilities Commission led a quick and coordinated response, vital in protecting our water and power supply, our Hetch Hetchy reservoir that faced real and grave danger. I'm proud of their work, and while we're grateful every day for our first responders who risk their lives and protect and serve, just as we've done, the pause for our firefighters and our police officers and first responders who lost their lives 12 years ago is extremely important and very fitting for us today to reflect on that. And certainly for our city, we've had our own, including the Rim Fire, the Police and fire, of course, were first on with the airport emergency personnel at the Asiana crash, and that will stick with me for a long, long time. So as you all know, we're living in an extraordinary city at an extraordinary time, and we're seeing the economic recovery all over us, just reflected in all those cranes in the skylines. That means is a lot of residents are back to work. When we took office in January of 2011, our unemployment rate was 9.5%. Today, it is 5.9%. And just between this one extremely important year of 2011 and 2012, our city netted over 30,000 additional jobs. And just think about what Professor Moretti said about those multiplier effects. Because it's not just one industry. We're seeing broad-based job growth that every sector of our city's economy is growing, and it's beating the US growth rate. We've been successful because we've created the conditions that give investors and entrepreneurs confidence in our city, allowing them to innovate, to grow, and to create jobs, whether they are neighborhood small businesses or international clean tech firms or a new technology company. Well, here's a new stat that I wanted you to be aware of. Since 2011, 23.6 million square feet of office space has been leased in San Francisco. Repeat that, 23.6 million square feet. That's 44 Trans-America pyramids put together. Well, that just doesn't happen by itself. And while we're lucky, it isn't all luck. In fact, over the last 2 years, 2.5 years, we worked together. We steadily built and strengthened what I call the economic infrastructure of our city. Where did we do that? Well, let's see. We worked together to create climate for jobs, reforming our business tax, attracting and retaining businesses from every sector, and making San Francisco the innovation capital of the world. We worked together to build homes for all San Franciscans by providing investors with the confidence that they can build new developments, creating a housing trust fund, working with our zoning planning department and rezoning aspects of our city, creating a housing trust fund that could permanently fund affordable housing, and then we're going to fix public housing as well so we can ensure that we don't have isolated poverty housing. We all want San Franciscans to be living side by side. We work together to support our young people by helping them find jobs through my Summer Jobs Plus program, by investing in our schools through our middle school initiatives, and making historic investments in our budget for the San Francisco Unified School District. We have worked together to strengthen our neighborhoods through our Invest in Neighborhoods initiatives that is focused on 25 commercial districts throughout the city, providing loans and grants to small businesses, filling vacancies, and helping to retain and strengthen local business. We've worked hard to re-envision our waterfront, with mixed-use development being planned for Giants Seawall Lot 337, with Forest City's Pier 70 project that will create vibrant neighborhoods. And of course, we'll welcome in the Golden State Warriors back home, thanks to the vision of Joe Lacob and Peter Gruber and the leadership of Rick Welch, working directly with our port and city planners. A derelict pier will be transformed into an iconic facility that will bring thousands of people out to enjoy our waterfront. We work together to build a 21st century downtown with the transit center as the anchor of economic development and jobs. We created the Transit Center District Plan that incorporates both business and neighborhoods, including places to work, places to live, shop, open spaces, and more. And the development community has embraced that very vision with 5 office buildings under construction adjacent to the transit center. We have worked together. You get the theme now, what I'm saying? To fund roads, parks, libraries, asking San Francisco voters to invest their hard-earned dollars to build infrastructure that'll help San Francisco families succeed. We've worked together to make San Francisco the premier international gateway to China, to Asia, and well beyond. Through ForecastSF, which is a partnership between the city and the San Francisco Center for Economic Development, we've attracted more than 20 new companies to establish operations in San Francisco. And we're setting our sights on Latin America with a new initiative, and you'll be listening to this very closely, Latin SF. That. We worked together to rebuild our healthcare infrastructure with 5 hospitals under development. Of course, our San Francisco General, which I'll be asking you for more help to make sure that that furniture and all the equipment gets deposited in there as we open it. Of course, CPMC, St. Luke's, the Chinese Hospital, and of course, UC San Francisco. We have worked together to fix our structural budget deficit with pension reform, 2-year budgeting, 5-year financial planning, fiscal discipline, all of which has maintained our strong bond rating. And this November, with the help of Supervisor Farrell, we'll tackle our unfunded retiree health care obligation. Well, it's because of our laser focus on the infrastructure of our economy that has allowed us to become the fastest growing large county in the nation. Not New York, not DC, not Chicago, not even Los Angeles, but right here in San Francisco. And we could not have done it without the people in this room. Not without the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce, not without our business community who have invested in our city and helping me create these jobs every single day. So, now, this is not the time to rest in our success. I think it's time that we double down on our success by focusing and tackling with even more vigor and more resolve and facing the challenges of our day by looking over that horizon to see what else we should be doing to ensure our success. This is not going to be a bubble, ladies and gentlemen. We are not going to do that. First, City College. We're going to save City College, period. There are no ifs, ands, or maybes. It's too important to our economy. It's too important for us to give up on our students or our training of our workforce in the future. So that's the first thing we got to do. Second, Affordable Care Act. Implementing the Affordable Care Act is a top priority for San Francisco, and we're focused on enrolling our residents in the Medi-Cal expansion and encouraging eligible residents to purchase affordable insurance via the Covered California Marketplace. However, we also need to provide guidance to our local businesses about how the ACA integrates with our local policy, namely the Healthcare Security Ordinance. This is a complicated policy issue, and that's why I've asked many of you in this room to serve on the Universal Healthcare Council with me and with our Public Health Director, Barbara Garcia, and many others. We'll lead a data-driven process so we can make informed policy decisions and find and fill all the gaps so everybody in San Francisco can be covered. We are San Francisco, and we're going to be a model for that implementation. Well, let me close with a few final thoughts. People ask me, as mayor, is our good economy going to continue? How are we going to sustain that growth and that development? How are we going to extend the prosperity to so many of our businesses and entrepreneurs who are seeing, that we're seeing now, to every citizen of San Francisco, every resident? Well, let me tell you, part of the answer to those questions is the everyday decisions by each of you to keep investing in our city. Yes, investing in businesses and startups and in innovative ideas, but also investing in our people, our young people, our schools, and our communities, and our neighborhood organizations. San Francisco is the greatest city in the world, not just because of our bay or our bridges or our tall, beautiful buildings, but also because of our diverse and innovative people, that human talent that we know is at the heart of our success. So I ask all of you, help us save City College. Help us rebuild and reimagine our public housing. Help us invest in our schools and a better education for our children. Help us hire young people, making our neighborhoods safer and stronger. I ask you to get involved. I ask you to volunteer. I ask you to help with more resources to be able to do this. That's how we're going to sustain this economic recovery and extend our prosperity. That's how together we'll be able to continue to build the economic and social infrastructure for our city and for the city of tomorrow. Thank you very much.